Hello, boys and girls. In reading, we are still talking about ways to retell a story or show people that we remember what a story was about, right? I've kind of set myself up right by our story elements anchor chart again, just to kind of remind you about the characters, the setting, the plot, and all of that. But today we're going to do something different. Like yesterday we tried the somebody wanted but so then organizer. Today we're going to use W words. W words are actually some of your red words right now, and you might even notice them on your anchor chart here. So some of the words that we're going to be talking about are who, right? So who the story is about, that's a W word. When is the story happening, and where is the story happening? Those are three W words, right? Who, when, and where. But we are also going to be asking what. What is going to happen more in here? Like, what is happening? What is the problem, maybe? And then we're also going to be asking, like, why. Why maybe did a character do something? Why did the problem happen in the first place, maybe? Try to figure out something that you could maybe answer why. I had a little bit of a hard time with the why, but I think I made it work okay, and I think you'll be able to also. So, yeah, we've got when and where, that's part of the setting. Who is the character, and the what is the big thing that's happening in the story, and the why is kind of like maybe the reasons things are happening, okay, like why is it happening? So, over here, this is the paper that you're going to be doing at home. You can't see all of it because I already filled it out, but I put little sticky notes on it so you can't see it. So I will slowly open each sticky note as I tell you about parts of my story. So I'll kind of turn a little bit, and I have a feeling where I have this camera, it's going to be too far away, so I'll probably take this off the wall so you can kind of see. So I'll move it over closer to you so you can see, and I'll hold it up one piece at a time. So the very first part that we're going to fill out is the middle. That says title. What is the title of the book I'm reading? Well, today I'm going to be reading you this story called Dagny's Mess is the title. So I'm going to go ahead and write Dagny's Mess right here in the middle so you can see I've done that, Dagny's Mess. Now you are not filling in yours about Dagny's Mess. You're going to have a different book that I'm going to give you, all right? Remember, I show you with one book and then you do a separate book at home, okay? Some of us are still forgetting that. All right, now I need to actually read my story, and then I think we can fill out the rest of this. So I'm going to read the whole story now. Dagny's Mess, it's a cute little story. This is a level I book. So several of you could read this book. Okay, here we go. Try to get situated so you can see and I can read. There we go. Dagny was one happy raccoon. He liked to have fun and he giggled a lot. But the other animals never wanted to have fun with Dagny. They never giggled with him, and they even looked unhappy when he was around. Dagny loved to take a bath and splash in the river every morning. He used sticks from the beaver's home to scratch his back. Oops, thought Dagny, what a mess. I'll clean it up later. But Dagny forgot. He was having too much fun. Beavers don't look very happy about that, do they? Here we go. Dagny loved to ride his bike over the little hills every afternoon. He rode over the mole's little bikes and broke them. Oops, thought Dagny, what a mess. I'll clean it up later. But Dagny forgot. He was having too much fun. You kind of see a pattern too, how it repeats itself at the end every time. You'll notice it again here. Dagny loved to take walks and look for yummy snacks every night. He took some of the squirrel's nuts and knocked over the nut can. Oops, thought Dagny, what a mess. I'll clean it up later. But Dagny forgot. He was having too much fun. Dagny forgot to clean up all of his messes. The other animals were upset. They had to do something about Dagny. Dagny just giggles and walks away from his messes, Mr. Squirrel said. Olivia Owl spoke up. Why don't you invite Dagny to your homes? Let him see the messes he made. The other animals nod their heads. Ooh, she's a wise owl, isn't she? Do you know what wise means? It means she's smart. She knows things, doesn't she? Which is a good idea. Let's see if it works. The beavers asked Dagny to come by their home the next day. Dagny giggled. Maybe the beavers would serve him tea. Dagny tried to knock on the door, but he couldn't find it. A pile of sticks blocked the door. What a mess, Dagny said. Remember what he did to their poor house when he scratched his back with their sticks? That was his fault. The moles asked Dagny to come by their home too. Dagny giggled. Maybe the moles would ride their bikes with him. But the bikes were all broken. What a mess, Dagny said. Remember what he did to their bikes? The squirrels asked Dagny to come by their home too. Maybe Mrs. Squirrel would give him some yummy nut pie. But the nut can was empty. What a mess, Dagny cried. Finally, he saw all the trouble his messes made. Did he finally realize? I think he did. Dagny fixed all the things he had broken. Dagny also promised to be much more careful. The house and the bikes were like new, and Dagny found nuts for a nut pie. Dagny had some friends now, as long as he cleaned up his messes. Okay, so now that we know the whole story, let's look back at our chart with our W words. Let's see. Let's start with an easy one, maybe the setting. That would be the when and the where W questions. So, where is this story happening? Well, it doesn't really give us like a specific name, like a city or a state or anything like that. It's kind of in a bunch of different places. So I really kind of thought about, well, it's happening outdoors. Everything's really outdoors, right? Like I could say forest, but it's not all in the forest. But it is mostly by the animals' homes, isn't it? It's by the beaver's home and the mole's home and the squirrel's home. So that's an important piece. That's an important where. Outdoors is an okay answer, but animal homes is better, isn't it? Because that is where the important things were happening. When, that's kind of tricky too, right? It's sometimes during the day, but that one time he went on a walk at night, so it was both those times. We can kind of tell it's summer because everything's green. But another important thing I thought was that it was when he was playing. So it was during the day and the night, but it was while he was playing. Because while he was playing, that's when the trouble happened. Okay, so that's why I added that. Now who, this is my character, right? Who is the story about? Well, it's all about Dagny, but it also is about the other animals. They are important too, right? I could have even done a better job and said, you know, the beaver, the squirrel, and the moles, and the owl, because the owl was important too, wasn't she? If she hadn't said something, the problem wouldn't have gotten solved. Okay? The next one I did was the what. So for what, I figured that really needed to be kind of like the plot roller coaster, but like just one big thing that's happening. What was happening in this book, like over and over and over again? So for what, I said, Dagny makes messes and he had no friends. That's what this story is mostly about, right? I mean, I could say all the things that happened, but I could just squish it all into this one little sentence and it makes sense. The why was kind of hard. I could have talked about why he made messes, why he cleaned up the messes, why he had no friends. Any of those answers would be okay because you are still answering the question why, and it is still about this book. So this is the way I decided to do the why. I said, I assumed Dagny was a girl, but maybe it's a boy. She cleaned her messes so she would have friends. So for the why, I kind of said why she cleaned up her messes so she could have friends. That's the way I did it. But I could have said, why did Owl say that they should invite Dagny over? I could have done lots of things. So I'm going to give you a story where you're going to fill out these W words. And I kind of suggest maybe doing it in an order similar to me, right? Do the title, maybe do the who the story's about, that's the character, then do the setting, the when and the where. Then I would do the what. What is this story really about? What's the important thing that's happening, the main thing? And then the why. See if you can find something where you're explaining why something happened. Why did a character do this? Why did something change? Why did the problem get solved? Anything like that would work for the why. All right? Okay.